Yo, what's going on, boys? And today we're gonna be doing a different kind of video. Um, Sorry, that's my computer. I just turned it on. But we're gonna be doing a different kind of video today. People have been requesting a tier list video. They said I could be doing that, be getting a decent amount of comments on it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do the tier list based off of like how good the gun is stat wise. I'm gonna go based off of it like how practical it is and how it feels, and this is just gonna be my opinion. So if you guys like disagree, just let me down in the comments below, say why, and keep it civilized. Don't freaking like freak out if I don't say your favorite gun is like, oh, it's like S tier or whatever. But S tier is going to be like, it's the best of the best. You need to use this, or it is the meta of Warzone. A tier is like, it's strong, but there are better guns in it, but it's perfectly viable. B is like balanced. C is like, it kind of needs like some buffs and some loves. D is like, don't really use it. And then F is like, why would you ever use this gun? This gun is trash. But getting into it, the striker with the hollow point rounds, I think the striker with the hollow point rounds is in C tier. I put it in C tier because it does have a fast time to kill, but it's not very usable in duos. It's only really usable in solos, and the only time you are going to use this, like I said, is in solos, and it doesn't even have that many bullets to begin with. So if you don't kill your enemy and the amount of bullets that you have, you're going to die. But the striker with the hollow point rounds, it does have 5 TTK, but that's the only thing that has going for it, and there are tons of SMGs that are way better than it. And the AUG 556, I don't know. I kind of want to put this in A or B. I'm gonna put this in B. I'm gonna put this in B because I just feel like it's a worse version of the MP5, and I think the 60 round mag on it with the conversion kit of the 556 make it extremely slow. But then again, you don't really want to use the 30 round mag because it's not enough bullets, and then you're not really using the SMG version of the gun because the 556 is just better. I don't know. And then the kilo, I think the kilo is S tier. This gun has insane range, it has insane damage, and it has little to no recoil, and it's super easy to control. This gun is completely just dominating in all ranges right now, except for like medium range, I guess, like medium range, because that's where the M4 comes in. I'm gonna put this in A. I think the M4 is really good, and it could be an M4 meta, but I think it's a kilo meta because, like I said, the kilo has better range than the M4, and it has a better recoil pattern. So when you're using the M4 from a distance, you're not going to be able to hit your target as much as you can with the kilo, because the kilo is just a beam, and the M4, the recoil gets pretty hectic long range. So I'm going to put the M4 in A tier. And then the AUG with the just regular SMG rounds, I'm going to put it in B. Like outside of its range, man, this thing is a complete pea shooter. I use it on the ground loot all the time, man, and it just feels like I'm shooting blanks. Like, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't do anything. And the Kar 98, it's a really good gun, A tier. You just have to hit your shots, man. The Kar 98 is so good. I really shouldn't have much to say about it. Just one shot to the head, 152 damage to the body. It's insane. You guys should use it, especially if you're sniping and you're aggressive. Definitely use it. Mark II, garbage. Don't use it. There's not really much explanation. It doesn't even one shot to the head in any type of range whatsoever. Like headshots are like kind of useless, I guess. I mean, if you're gonna use this gun, might as well use the FAL or the SKS, any gun that shoots faster than it, because it's gonna kill faster anyways. Like, this gun is completely useless. For the crossbow, I'm gonna put it in D. I would put it in C, but the crossbow is really good, but you have to like know the ins and outs of the crossbow. You have to like pretty much be like a master with the crossbow to use it in Warzone. If you aren't hitting your shots, you're probably gonna die, because you're only gonna get like one chance to hit somebody in Warzone, and that's it. If you miss that shot, that's it. And make sure you're using the explosive bolts if you are using it. The D tier, like I said, man, you just gotta be a master with any of these guns in D tier. So that's pretty much it, man. Just be a master with the crossbow, and you can do work with that. Other than that, do not use this gun. The SKS, I feel like it's okay. I mean, I feel like it's a worse version of the Odin and the FAL. And the reason why I put it in C tier, especially because it uses sniper bullets. Like, it's not very good. it's gonna burn really quickly through your magazine, and you're not gonna have any ammo. If this used AR ammo, it would be a lot better place, but it's still, like I said, it uses sniper bullet. That's not very good. So that's the SKS. If you're just gonna use this, might as well use an Odin, right? Just might as well. AX50 A tier. I think the AX50 is just a really good sniper, pretty much personal preference, but the HDR is better than it. I'm not going to put it in S tier because these guns do take skill. The reason why I'm not putting these guns in S tier, because it does take skill to hit people in the head, even though sometimes it's just ridiculous, like what happens sometimes. But all these guns right here require, even if you are getting body shots, you're still doing a shit ton of damage, and you're still taking off a shit ton of armor. If you're in a poke war with somebody, you're definitely gonna win that trade, especially if they only have an AR, because you're gonna get like pop shots off. You're gonna quick peek, shoot them, quick peek, shoot them, take off the armor, and you're just winning that trade overall. So it's in your favor. They're an A tier because they take skill, but they are really good. So don't sleep on these. I don't really see that many people sniping anymore, especially because of how aggressive the meta is, which I like how aggressive the meta is. I like people like being really aggressive and stuff. Dragunov, F tier. There's no reason to use this gun, like, ever, unless you're memeing, just memeing, just running around. But in all seriousness, this gun is complete dog shit. Don't ever use this gun. There's no reason to use this gun. There's a reason why I haven't made a video on it. This gun is complete dog shit. The 1911s, I feel like they're C tier, and I only say they're C tier because if you use a Kimbo with the restock on these things, they actually they smack, like they do some work. Same with the 357s, even without the snake shot, C tier, like you can do some work. You just have to have a little bit of luck, especially because of the six rounds. You're gonna have to hit your shots, and I don't really know how you guarantee them unless you stun them and like just barrel stuff and just like shoot them. But other than that, yeah. X16s, I'm gonna put these in C tier. That's just X16 by itself is just, I would put it in F. But if you're using a Kimbo, definitely C tier, especially if with the stuns. That's the only reason why I think they work a little bit. Snake shots, C tier. There's not much to say. They're actually pretty decent. Ever since they got nerfed, they were completely overpowered. I know you guys don't remember that, but ever since they got nerfed, no one has touched these. Absolutely nobody. I'm probably like the only person that's probably used them or even made a YouTube video after they got nerfed, and they're actually like pretty like decent. They're not horrible. They're not gonna kill, but like they can hold their own if you use them, if I'm being honest. The Rennetti Burst, C tier. Even by itself, it's an okay secondary, but with the Kimbo, it's not that good. Actually, I kind of want to put this in D tier because Rennetti Burst, like, I don't know, man. It's not good. I feel like it's the worst Kimbo out of all of them, to be honest. The FAL, I feel like the FAL is A tier, especially because now that it got a little bit nerfed, it does take a little bit more skill to use, and they did buff the FAL's headshot damage a little bit, but then they nerfed the overall body damage, so it doesn't do as much damage as quickly as possible. You do need to have a little bit of a trigger finger, and you do need to stay on target a little bit, control the recoil pattern just a tiny bit, so I'm gonna put it in A. The Growl, I think it's a really good gunner now, but especially after the nerfs, I don't think it's S. I don't think it competes with the Kilo, to be honest. It does have excellent range and it still has all that, but like I said, man, the Kilo is just easier. Like the Growl is super good, but like the setup that I use on the Growl, it just doesn't compete with the Kilo because of the sights. And I could switch out like attack laser for the Vlk 3.0, but I kind of feel like it's a waste if you're not using the iron sights on the Growl. And then the Odin here, I'm gonna put this in B. The Odin, I don't know. The Odin is good. It just takes some skill. Like, you need to get good with controlling the recoil, and you need to get good with hitting your shots. If you're not hitting your shots, man, your TTK is going down so much, and you're missing. Like, it's more of a gun of how good you are at the game, because it's very unforgiving if you miss your shots, especially because it has a slow RPM. And the F13, definitely a tier gun. This gun has insane long range damage, and it has 0 recoil, so if you slap like an Vlk 2.0 optic on this thing, you're good to go with like a commander foregrip mount, and you're freaking beaming people. The FR556, you know, obviously S tier if the underbarrel shotgun was still a thing, but ever since I got nerfed, that gun is going down here. I just, man, every single time I use this gun, it is just like, why does the gun even exist? Like, it's so bad. I don't understand why anybody would use this except for the memes, you know? It's just, oh man, this gun is terrible. You know this gun is bad when it's better close range than long range. This gun doesn't do anything long range, dude. You shoot a burst and maybe one bullet hits him, and then you're just like, I'm dead because only one bullet hit him. This gun is just, please just don't use it. Just don't use it. The AK, I put it in A. The AK can do some work, and I think the only problem with it is it's this really awkward like ammunition stage. Like you can either put like a 45 round mag in it, the 75. I'd like, why is there no 50? Why is there no 60? But I mean, I feel like it's just like a worse version of the Galil or the CR56, but the AK could still do work if you kit it right. Other than that, the AK is a banger of a weapon. The Scar, I'm gonna put this in C tier. The Scar could be good if it had a bigger ammo or magazine or whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. If you had a bigger magazine for it, so like say if it had like even like a 40 round mag or like a 45 round mag, this gun would be in such a better spot. It has no recoil. It has a really good long range properties, but they just don't show this gun some love that it needs. They don't understand that it needs a bigger magazine. But hey, I'm not the dev team. The RAM is definitely A tier. This gun, you could pair it with the sniper. You could do like RAM, HDR, RAM, AX50, RAM, Car 98. This gun is so clean, but the only problem that you have with it is the recoil, man. This recoil on this gun is ridiculous. I mean, if you get control of this recoil on this gun, man, you are golden. You'll probably be like the best player that has ever been on Warzone. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but still, the RAM 7 can really do some work, honestly, if you control the recoil. But other than that, man, control the recoil, the RAM is your freaking beastly of a goddamn gun, dude, because that gun did some work. MP7 or MP5 S tier, there's really no SMG that competes with it. It's kind of ridiculous. These two guns are uncontested for being the best guns in the game. Maybe except for the MP5, I will show you some contestants later, but these guns right here are undoubtedly the two match contestants in the AR and SMG category for sure. The MP5 just does everything you want it to do, and even when you think the MP7 has better range than it doesn't. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, the MP5, man, it's just, what can I say? You guys all know this gun. Everybody's made a million videos about it. This thing just shreds. It just doesn't work. There's a reason why everyone uses it. And the MP7, I would put it in A tier. This is a good SMG to combine with the HDR, you know, any of the snipers that you want to use. It's going to beam from really long, far ranges. I've shown you guys what it can do before. It's just a really good SMG all around. If you guys want to use it long range, you definitely can. I use it like that. I use it like a mini AR. That's how I use it. But this gun has great range, great fire rate, and a good magazine. So there's, especially with those 60 round mags, man, so good, so good. The P90, I think the P90 is B tier. I really don't. It's not good in Warzone, man. It's just not. I feel like it's a little pea shooter. I just feel like it's a worse version than P7. I'll just say how I feel. It's meh. Just doesn't really do anything. It doesn't stand out. And no one's really saying, yo, I really wish I had an MP or a P90 loadout. That P90 is sick. Same with the PP Bison, man. I don't know what it is. Someone can back me up in the comments below, man. But this gun is trash. This gun is dog poo, bro. But when people have this shit against me, oh, you best believe I'm getting sent to the gulag. I don't know how many times I got melted by this PP19 Bison. It doesn't matter what they are, doesn't matter what they're doing, bro. If they have this gun in their hands, I'm dead. But when I use it, this thing is a goddamn water gun. It doesn't do nothing. But man, this gun it's so inconsistent. It is unreal. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I've had my fair shares of like beaming people with the PP19. And then I have other times where I just like empty an entire mag and they don't die, and then I get beamed, and I'm just like, what just happened? But I don't know. There's a little bit of usage in PP19. It has a good magazine, but other than that, man, you should just use the MP5, honestly. The Uzi with the ammo conversion kit. I want to say B. I would put it in A, but it's not that practical. The Uzi has its special little range, but other than that, man, the Uzi's not really doing much. It has like that range that Drifter talked about in his video, that it will do better than most ARs, but that's not a very big range, especially because you have really far engagements in Warzone, and you could like pair this with the sniper. I mean, that's what could back you up in those long range engagements, but I wouldn't use this. I would use like an MP7 over this. I would use a RAM 7. I would use an M13. I don't know, man. I just don't see a reason to use the Uzi over like Growl or an M13 or Kilo, you know. Striker, don't use this thing. Okay, I shouldn't say so, don't use this, but I don't know. I feel like it's one of the worst SMGs in the game. I don't really see anybody using it, and I've used it before, and I feel like the TTK is so slow unless you're hitting your headshots. But I mean, no one's really hitting headshots consistently. I've only maybe seen one player that hits headshots consistently, but I just feel like the Striker just doesn't do much in terms of its potential. It could be a lot better gun. I wish it was one of those SMGs like it's shot slow, but it does some heavy damage, but it doesn't do that much, to be honest. The Uzi, I would put it in C tier as well. I feel like the Uzi is just worse without the ammo conversion rounds. There's no reason to use this like at all. Unless it's like ground loot. It's a pretty decent gun if it's ground loot, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, I do use it a lot if it's ground loot. And then the MP5 with the 10mm round mags. I want to put it in B or C. I'll put it in B. Now, the reason why it's not that good is because it doesn't really help the gun in Warzone, and you're not really using the MP5 for range. If you're using it for range, then you're doing something wrong. You should be putting the MP5 as an SMG entirely. There's a reason why you're using a primary and a secondary. You usually have a assault rifle, and then you have a secondary SMG. There's really no reason to use this as like a middle ground between AR range and SMG range, so it's kind of like a wasted attachment in my opinion, and I don't see a reason to use this ammo conversion kit. Now this Striker .4, I don't know what that means, so I'm just going to ignore it. The M4 SOCOM rounds, put that in D tier. I think the only reason you should use this if you're like a master with this weapon. I just don't really see a reason to use it, especially because the FAL is literally just a better version of it. And so is the Odin, especially if you're using it long range, and the FAL if you're using it closer range. I don't like this gun. It's just especially the magazine capacity is way too small, and it's kind of useless. The M4 9mm, put that in C tier. I used this before, and this gun kills really quickly, but the magazine on it is way too small. 32 bullets is probably enough for like 1 or 2 people, and that's it. 2 people maybe, especially in Warzone, man. That's because you have to hit so many shots. But this gun does have some good potential. I've used it before, man, and I was like, holy crap, this thing beams so hard and so fast. It's pretty crazy. The AK ammo conversion round, I'm gonna put it in B. It doesn't have excellent range like the AK. Honestly, this is more of a multiplayer attachment, so if you want to use this is more like a close to medium range AK, but at that point you might as well just use the CR56. I know I keep talking about the CR56, the AK-47, but that's literally just what the CR56 is. It's just a better version of the AK. The Model 680, D tier. It's literally one of the worst shotguns in the game right now. Even with Dragon Breath rounds, I still wouldn't use this gun. It's just bad. It's just bad, man. It's just terrible. Like, no, don't use it unless you're goated and you're somehow god and you can make this gun work. I didn't put an F tier because it's not complete dog shit, but it's pretty dog shit. The R9 with Dragon Breath rounds, I want to put this gun in S. I'll put it in S. This gun's kind of ridiculous right now, especially if you can hit your shots, man. Like, you don't even have to be on target 100%, and you're two-shotting people. This gun is so good, it's ridiculous. I don't use it personally because I just love the Origin, man. I just love spamming left click, and just wrecking people. I'm not much of a skill person. I like spamming my shots. That's why I love the Origin. Origin for life, baby, you already know. But the R9 is ridiculous, so don't sleep on it. If you guys haven't used it with the Dragon Breath rounds, you guys are missing out on some pure carnage. That's all I'm saying. 75 garbage. The reason why I put it in F tier instead of D tier with the Model 680, it's just 2 shots is not enough. I've used this and It is so inconsistent. It's unbelievable. You don't when you shoot those 2 shots, you're not even like you're not even sure if you're gonna kill him. It's just wildly inconsistent in my opinion. When I used it, I had no idea. It was completely like gamble. Like, am I gonna kill him? Am I gonna not? I don't know. If I miss, I'm dead. But yeah, man, this gun is just complete doo-doo. Origin, A tier. The reason why I put it in A tier, I'm not downplaying it, I swear. It's like if it had more of a viable range, I would put this in S tier. If this gun ever, and I mean ever, gets Dragon Breath rounds, and I mean ever, like mark my words, if this gun gets Dragon Breath rounds, it will be the best secondary in the game. Without a doubt, no one will change my mind. I already think the Origin is one of the best secondaries in the game. But since it doesn't have Dragon Breath rounds, it's going to be brought down to A, because the only thing that's lackluster on this thing is its range. But since I play so aggressive, I can make this Origin work like 95% of the time. And I can usually just kill whoever I'm fighting. But there are those ranges where I'm like, oh shit, and then someone has an MP5 and I get melted because I didn't close the gap on them. Yeah, there are some downfalls to this Origin, but dude, if you can get close to them, and most of the time I can, especially because I'm rocking stuns, they're dead literally 95% of the time, like I just said. The Vlk Rogue, put it in B tier. It used to be A tier in my opinion, but the Origin and the R9 are just better than it in my opinion, so it brought it down a little bit. The Vlk Rogue is really punishing if you don't hit your shots. That's what I learned, especially with the Dragon Breath rounds. That's what you have to use. If this gun didn't have Dragon Breath rounds, it would be right there, but since it does, that's the only saving grace for it. I put it in B tier. You have to hit your shots with the Vlk Rogue, otherwise you're just gonna get down, especially if they're like a decent player. You're not gonna live. The really good thing that these shotguns have going for them is that you can pop shots. The R9 and the Vlk Rogue, you can like pop a shot, hide behind corner, pop a shot, hide behind corner, pop a shot, hide behind corner. If you're really good at that, then these shotguns are really going to be really good for you. The M91, C tier. It's not that good. There's a lot of better LMGs in it. It's just, I don't know, man. The recoil is really weird in it as well. I used it and I wanted it to be good, but it just wasn't. And the reload time is extremely long on it, and it's just, it's rough, man. It's pretty rough. The NG34, I think if you can manage this gun, and you can manage the handling speed, and you can manage the reload speed, and all the terrible stats that it has, you can make this gun work. Especially because this gun has insane damage and insane range, man. You can beat people so far away, it's ridiculous. But if you can manage the other crappy stats about it, and you can just focus on those two good qualities that it has, oh man, you're putting in some work. But you have to be like complete master to use this gun pretty well. PKM, S tier. And the reason why I put that PKM in S tier is because it beams so far away. It's just like the Kilo. It doesn't really have any recoil. It just does everything you want it to, especially in SR for long range. You put a Vlk 3.0 optic on this thing and you're going to town. People say, well, the 100 mag is not enough. You really shouldn't be in any situations where you have to reload the PKM. You should only be reloading the PKM in downtime, and especially because the RPM on this gun is not that fast. You're not burning through ammo, so it's really not that hard of a gun. Hard gun to use. People are just downplaying this gun for no reason at all, and it's still really good. I don't see people using this gun enough, and I think it's one of the best guns in the game next to the Kilo. The SA87, C tier. There's not many qualities that this gun has going for itself, except for it's underrated. It's a pretty average LMG, and not many people are using it. I think it is pretty decent. I've used it before. I think it's better than the M91, I should say. I'm gonna put this B tier actually, because it's not as bad as the M91, that's for sure. I think it has some pretty decent potential if it is used correctly. The Holger, I think, is B tier. They're just, I mean, it's before all the nerfs, I would have put it down here, but it's actually pretty decent now. I still need to make a video on it. With the buffs were like, you know, kind of helping it pretty decently, but that's not what's wrong with the Holger. The Holger it shoots too slow and it doesn't do enough damage. So if they ever buff those, this gun will definitely shoot up even more. The EBR, F tier. Don't use this gun. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's like the SKS, just worse. Just don't, no. Don't even think about using this. Joker D tier. It's just launcher. What can I say? There's not much to it. It's good for shooting at people on buildings and cars and tracking and all that shit like that. You guys already know. 357 snake shots. Didn't I ever do that? Yeah, I did. Okay, the Estrella, pretty decent. It's just like the Joker. It has its own things. It does its own things. The M19s, putting that B tier. Oh, what the hell? Whoops, it's A tier. B tier. No, B tier. I'm putting these in B tier because they're the best akimbos out of all the akimbos in the game. These things can kill actually pretty quickly if you use them right, especially with restock. These things do some work. Yeah, I made a video on them if you guys want to see it. They're a pretty good gun. They're pretty slept on. I've never seen anybody use these before. The RPG, A tier. This gun is freaking ridiculous, man. There's been so many times where I've been one-shotted by it in freaking Warzone. It's so stupid, especially with full armor. I don't understand why it can one-shot. It's pretty good. The only times you're not really using the RPG is really long ranges like the Kilo, but I've been sniped before. Let me tell you, man, I've been sniped before. And the Pila, D tier. It's just like these other three right here. These other two. They just do the same thing, just, you know, their own identity. And then the Deagles, D tier. Even if you are using this gun by itself, it's not even doing that much work to begin with. And if you're using the Kimbos, man, you better freaking pray to the RNG gods that you're hitting your shots, because these guns are so inconsistent, it hurts. When I used these, bro, it was not a good time. It wasn't. But that's the tier list, guys. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below in the section, or in the comment section below. If you guys like this video today, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. And if you guys have any more recommendations on what I should do in the future, make sure you drop them down in the comments below. Make sure you guys drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and a notification bell so you guys get notified every single time I upload. And I'll see you guys later. And it's weird, I'm not saying enjoy the gameplay because the video is already over. Enjoy the tier list. Later.